Okay, so this is the great outdoors. I was really expecting something besides tan. I mean, the fact that it's called the wasteland was, didn't raise my expectations any. It's just I didn't expect. Even the sky looks kind of tan, doesn't it? Well, anyway, now that I'm out of reach of the overseers, it's time to hear that message that I managed to pick up on the way out the door from Dad.
I don't really know how to tell you this. I hope you'll understand, but I know you might be angry. I thought about it for a long time, but in the end, I decided it was best for you not to know. So many things could have gone wrong, and there's really no telling how the overseer will react when he finds out.
No idea
It's
how...
best if he can blame
Well, then
everything
thanks
on
for
me.
the heads up.
Obviously, you already know that I'm gone. It was something I needed to do. You're an adult now. You're ready to be on your own. Maybe someday things will change and we can see each other again. I can't tell you why I left or where I'm going. I don't want you to follow me. God knows life in the vault isn't perfect, but at least you'll be safe. Just knowing that will be enough to keep me going.
Yeah, safe
Don't
unless
mean
the
to
guy
rush you,
freaks the
Doc,
fuck
but
out.
I'd feel better
Thanks.
if we got this over with.
Okay, go ahead. Goodbye. I love you.
Yeah, well, with that bridge back there thoroughly burned, I really should catch up with the old man and figure out what prompted him to do this all of a sudden. Suppose I should head to that wrecked city down there. There might be some clues.
I'm John Henry Eden, President of the Enclave, President of America, President of your heart.
What in the actual fuck? I can't decide which is crazier, that the robot is telling me that, or someone sent this robot out here just to share that message with us. Get the feeling I traded one army of crazies for an entire world full of crazies.
Have yourself a nice visit, partner.
I hope this isn't representative of the living conditions out here. I'd hate to think I've gone from living in a metal box to living in a metal box that's breezy.
Name's Lucas Sims, town sheriff, and mayor too when the need arises.
Okay, so you're like the overseer if he had a snazzy hat. The reason the place is called Megaton is that down in the center of this town is an unexploded Chinese atomic weapon. The bomb hasn't gone off in 200 years, and frankly, I'm not certain what the sell-by date is on these things, but it's probably not the safest thing in the world. The only reason they've got it here is they're tapping some of the radioactive energy of the core in order to power things. Still, the sheriff wouldn't mind if I deactivated the thing, and given I've got a strong scientific background, I could probably do that. Given the shape of the outer casing, this probably uses some kind of an explosive compression, in which case all you've got to do is deactivate the explosives around the core, and the whole thing should just shut off. It doesn't matter how radioactive the center is if you can't make it push down into critical mass. I think. He is willing to pay me, so there's some incentive, and the downside is that I'll get blown up and I'll take this lovely burb with me. Somehow I think the wasteland will go on.
Come on, you piece of junk. Every day it's the same damn thing.
I told you, Gob, it ain't the radio. The Enclave station comes in fine. It's Galaxy News. Their signal's been shit lately.
Wait, is that... Damn it. Son of a bitch. Come on. I won't do work.
So a zombie tending bar getting pissed at his radio. If you get drunk in this bar, how would you ever tell?
Hey, Smoothskin, you need something? A drink, maybe? Anything? Anything at all?
Here's a game limitation where you get a number of answers and none of them are right. Like, I'm thinking the first one, but I'm not gonna say the first one. Like in the real world, if I go into a store and the person who greets me has got some massive mole on the side of their nose, I'm thinking about the mole. It's right there, and I'm mildly OCD. But I'm not going to just blurt out, I'm not sure which one of you I should be talking to. I picked the third one because it's the closest, but it's a little bit excessive the other way. I mean, I'm not going to say my good man to this guy. I'm going to be more like, 1 second. I mean, he would be perfectly aware of what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to come out and just blab it at him like some dick.
Well now, that's a surprise. I'm used to every asshole smooth skin in this town giving me shit just 'cause I look like a corpse. I'm glad to see that there are a few worthwhile people around here.
Weird. You'd think that these people would be used to that sort of thing by now. Of course, finding a reason to hate each other is kind of the universal human pastime. I mean, I'm called naively optimistic often, and even I'm aware of that.
Honestly, I usually keep my head down. I tend to get smacked around if I look customers in the eyes. But talk to Moriarty, he'll know more.
Well, surprisingly, the person who's hardest to find in Moriarty's is Moriarty. But I do find Mr. Burke here.
Don't you see? You're a free agent. You have no ties here, no interest in this settlement's affairs. Megaton means nothing to you. I represent certain interests who view this town, this Megaton, as a blight on a burgeoning urban landscape.
Well, look, I don't exactly disagree with you. Megaton would not win worst shithole in the world only because it looks like it's trying too hard. However, his solution, set off the bomb in the center of town to wipe it off the map, doesn't seem like the best plan. On the whole, I think a little bit of paint and maybe a few plants might help a bit more than a thermonuclear explosion.
Color me intrigued. Go on. Well, of course not. I must admit, I've never met a woman quite like you before. This changes everything. I'm not sure what I'm going to tell Tenpenny. I'll think of something. You wait here, my dear. I have some important business to attend to, but you won't be waiting long. I shall send for you soon.
Wow, he really did a 180 there. I can't believe I was that persuasive. Well, time to go find Moriarty.
Colin Moriarty, at your service. Welcome to Moriarty's. My saloon, my home, my slice of heaven in this backwoods little burg. If you've got the caps, I've got your pleasure. Please sit down, make yourself comfortable. Your troubles are a thing of the past.
He sounds a lot nicer than when I first saw him.
Do you want something, or are you just looking to get your ass beat?
So this guy's got a real sunny disposition. What he says backs up what I read in those records, that they sometimes head outside and find out what's going on out there without telling anybody that the vault has indeed been open for a short time.
That's right. Your father, his Brotherhood of Steel friend, and you, the suckling babe with nary a tit to suckle. Sorry about your mom, truly. But life goes on. Daddy lied. Life's full of little disappointments. And now you're all grown up and wondering where he's gone to.
Oh, that is a tone of voice that ends with a request for fellatio.
You seem like a nice kid, so I'm going to be straight with you. Your dad was here, and now he's not. And yes, I know where he went. But what you're asking me for is information, and information is a commodity. Let's say 100 cops, and Daddy's location is yours. Very reasonable.
Why in the world would you think that I would have 100 bottle caps on my person after just coming out of the vault? Yeah, for you it's money. For me, it's trash. I come from a society that does not have a litter-based economy.
All right, kid. Let me help you out. You know, for all time's sake. If you don't have the cops to pay for the information, then maybe you could do a little favor for me.
I am not sucking your dick.
Who said anything about dirty work? You need some caps, and I'm giving you a way to get them. It's just business. This junkie bitch named Silver borrowed quite a few caps from me. Claimed she could start funneling Jet and Psycho to me for a good price. Problem is, she scrammed with the loot and set herself up in Springvale so she can inject herself into a stupor. Get the caps she owes me and they're yours. Yours to pay me with, anyway.
Fine, I'll go play Enforcer for you. Springvale's not far. It's that place that I walked through with the flying propaganda robot. So this is the place. Wow, she really made a run for it. I think Moriarty could lean off his balcony and hit this place with a well-aimed bottle.
Who the hell are you? Where'd you come from? Did Moriarty send you?
No, I'm from the VFW, and from the sound of your music selection, you're a true patriot.
He's a liar. He just wants me dead. Those caps are all mine. I earned them.
Wow, you are so incredibly convincing. I make a deal with her. I say if she gives me some of the caps, I'll tell Moriarty that she's gone. Like he ever goes outside the walls to check. She jumps at the option of getting him off her back, so good, I can now pay the bribe. Well, Moriarty must be off taking a dump, because I searched the entire bar and I can't find him anywhere in here, so I figure I'll just wait, strike up a conversation with this guy. Oh, look, another of your pampered vault assholes. Look here, vault asshole. I don't like you. Stay clear of me and we'll have no trouble. It sounded a lot more intimidating when he did it. The thing about this is that I'm playing the GOG version of this. I thought that would mean that would be really stable, but it's not. It's frozen up on me or just crashed so many times that anyway, it crashed and I got it back going again, but when it crashed, somehow it disabled the audio on my recording. So for this next part, there's no audio for it. Shit. Anyway, time to go track down Moriarty. What's it to be? A few caps to find out where your father went? Or are you going to have a go of it on your own? The wasteland can be such an unforgiving place. So I tell him that I got the money off Silver and she's gone now. Your dad came through here all right. Didn't stay long, though. Said he had some important business to attend to and headed off to the city. Something to do with Galaxy News Radio. Guess that'd be the place for you to start. Good hunting, and thanks for the caps. Hoity-toity, leprechaun. So with that information, I can continue on the trail, and so I head off for the big city. The problem is, on the way, things are not pretty. First, I get attacked by a giant ant. Admittedly, I should have seen that coming. It's a lot tougher than I would have thought, but eventually I put it down. But then, I get ambushed by a pair of mercenaries. I don't think they're working for anybody in attacking me. I think it's one of those attacks of opportunity, as we say in the RPG world. Anyway, my life experience as a scientist working in a vault has not exactly prepared me to go into battle against two armed mercenaries, but still, thanks to the superior technology I've got, I'm able to beat them both. Still, I exhaust a great deal of my ammunition and, well, there's no easy way to say this, get a severe ass-kicking in the process. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and one of the things you can do to recover after a serious beating is to get a drink. No, not the kind that you might expect would be helpful afterwards. No, I'm talking about just regular water is big help. Of course, one thing you learn all too quickly is that the water is radioactive. Fallout 3 operates on a cumulative effects system wherein exposure to radiation builds up over time to start having deleterious effects on you. Eventually I'm going to have to see somebody about this radiation exposure, but I'd like to live long enough to have to worry about radiation rather than dying because someone hurled a brick at me. Of course, a far better option than drinking out of this filthy river would be finding some purified water, like, say, these ghouls have and these escaped slaves want. And now we're going to give you what for... Ow, you shot me! Oh, no, don't do that! Ow! Oh, for the love of God, please stop! No! Ah! Oh, some more for you over there, too! Ah! And then all the ex-slaves are dead. I hope you're not here for the water, because we're leaving with it. and my mama never taught me to share. Well, I am persuasive, so I suggest rather than having yet another fight, we just split the water. It's a total bluff. I don't want to have to fight these guys, but I'm going to need those supplies when I head into the city. So far, you've seen a lot of what the wastes can throw at you. Wild animals, obviously, that have either been mutated or are vicious because of the harsh environment they have to survive in. Then there are humans who want to kill you for your stuff. Then there are ghouls, like those guys with the water. They're the same as Gob. Humans that have been exposed to radiation that don't die. Instead, their skin and flesh begins to rot, giving them that corpse-like appearance. Although as a side effect, the aging process is significantly slowed. There's just not enough moisturizer in the world to make it worthwhile. And many of the ghouls are just people. You just happen to look like it's Halloween all the time. And so they are the same threat or non-threat that anybody else is. But some of them lose their damn minds. They have their brain rotted away, so they turn into a little more than animals. Those are called ferals. You'll see a lot of them because everybody likes killing zombies. On the bridge into town is where I encounter the most common form of trouble, though, at least out in the wastes. Raiders. At least mercenaries are organized and trained, but raiders, they're just a gang of assholes. The way to divide them up is, if civilization were to return tomorrow, mercenaries would find a way to integrate into society in order to use it for their advantage. Raiders would resist that. They don't do what they do to survive. They do it because they like it. Killing, torture, and getting high, that's pretty much the life of a raider. So I managed to beat these guys, but unfortunately I take a round to the head. Fortunately, I'm all right. Could be a lot worse. Could have suffered brain damage. However, I am nevertheless feeling it, so I decide, just as I reach the metro tunnels, that maybe I should head back and get a good looking over. I'm Doc Church, and I run this clinic. Now, before you go asking me for help, you'd better know the rules. Rule 1, don't bother me. If you do bother me, you better be damn near dead. I'm busy enough taking care of people I actually like. So definitely not going to get any folksy wisdom or looking at Rorschach tests when he's done taking the bullet out of my head. After taking care of my wounds, I try heading back out again, but this time I get attacked by some mole rats, and I'm embarrassed to say it's actually close. I'm going to have to get some supplies if I'm going to pull this off.
Hey, I hear you're that stray from the vault. Oh, I haven't seen one of you for years.
Well, that clinches it. People have to have been leaving the vault. Now, this lady is... either she is the best deep cover operative in the universe, or it's got to be true. Anyway, about those supplies.
Good to meet you. I'm Moira Brown. I run Craterside Supply. But what I really do is mostly tinkering and research.
Neato, I'm a scientist myself. Anyway, about the supplies.
Say, I'm working on a book about the wasteland. It'd be great to have the foreword by a vault dweller. Help me out, would you?
Okay, well, it was... I guess compared to out here, it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, the overseer ran it like a little Hitler, but at least no one was in there trying to cut off my face so they could wear it themselves.
That'll be good for the book. In fact, want to help me with the research? I can pay you, and it'll be fun.
Well, if it's going to be fun, sure.
Well, it's a dangerous place out there in the wastes, right? People could really use a compilation of good advice, like a wasteland survival guide. For that, I need an assistant to test my theories. I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt because of a mistake. Nobody's ever happy when that happens. No, then they just yell a lot at me with mean words.
I have to admit, I've been getting my ass kicked out there. Being on the front line of finding out how exactly to survive out there is going to make it easier for me to get to Galaxy News Radio without getting my head torn off and stuffed up my ass.
Ooh, sounds like fun, doesn't it? Which do you want to do first? Well, food and medicine. Everyone needs them once in a while, right? So they need a good place to find them. There's an old Super Duper Mart not far from here. I need to know if a place like that still has any food or medicine left in it.
After 200 years, probably only what other people have brought into it.
Hopefully, you'll be finding food and medicine, but I could sweeten the deal by paying more food when you get back, regardless of the results. While you're away, I can at least search through my junk and see if there's anything that'll go with old food to make it more appetizing.
As stale as this stuff is going to be, it'll be welcome. Well, the Super Duper Mart is located near that bridge where I ran into the raiders, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that this place is full of raiders. That must have been like some kind of a scouting party or something, or just heading out there to find someone to beat the shit out of, drag back, and torture. It's the little things that get you through, after all. One thing you're going to discover as I'm doing this and Fallout New Vegas is that I'm going to be using a controller rather than a mouse and keyboard. I'd originally been doing Fallout 3 with a mouse and keyboard, but I found that the mouse was falling asleep sometimes. I don't know why, but, well, it was a matter of life and death sometimes. It would take 4 or 5 seconds before the mouse cursor would finally move. Moira, my PC, was built to be able to serve all the needs of this show. It can handle a modern game, so it shouldn't be having any problems with a 13-year-old one. However, I think there's a faulty piece of hardware that's been acting up. I've replaced damn near everything in her, and she's still acting up sometimes. That might be the reason why Fallout 3 has been crashing on me. All I know is that it's a bit of a problem choosing between a mouse that falls asleep or the controller that simply lacks the precision that's needed sometimes in here. It can be really difficult to go from a smooth scrolling experience to a jerk, jerk, jerk experience when you're trying to get precision with your crosshairs. Plus, this isn't helped by the fact that your shots don't necessarily go to where the crosshairs are. Your skill with that particular kind of weapon is going to determine whether or not you're hitting. So that's an added bonus if you're looking for complexity, which I'm not. I'm a busy guy. I've got a lot of show to do. One thing I've learned from playing Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas is that the human body is made of balsa wood.
Oh my God! I don't want to die!
Hey, you can't leave. I haven't finished killing you yet. I eventually find and take him down and then head into the back to go looking for food and medicine. Perfect, a security robot. If I can get him working, he can go out there and deal with any raiders that come back while I'm scouring this place for food.
Loading personality. Robco, R04V9. Office helper. Running default office protocol. Error. Loading daily agenda. Error. Security breach detected. Please stand back.
We're back. Somebody open up the... Hang on. Something ain't right here.
I'll leave that to all of you to work out. The medicine is in here all right, but the food seems to be located in another part of the store. And all those guys are out there. Let's hope that Robbie the robot can handle them. Nope, that does not look like a group of people worried about a laser-wielding robot with no purpose in life running around the place. Yeah, come in here, please. I'm having trouble killing you all the way over there. Thank you. With the raiders finally dealt with, I can go into the other section of the store to retrieve the food, and mission accomplished. I can head back to Megaton and tell Moira the good news.
Those monsters, they're gonna get me.
Ah, crap. I just finished killing an entire gang, kid. What problems have you dropped on my front porch?
Those big things. They're all over Greenwich, and they killed everyone. Please, mister, please find my papa.
Mister, why, you must be mistaken, for I am obviously a 19-year-old girl. Never work with children or animals, they say. Oh.
Well, they're big, ugly things that crawl around on 6 legs. They got huge teeth and skitter around grabbing everything in their path. My papa would always say they're fucking ants. Well, that's what he used to call them anyway. I just call them fire ants.
Yeah, that's probably a better name. Look, kid, I'm not going to lie to you. I got more on my plate right now than Ebenezer Scrooge at a buffet, but if I have some time after I've dealt with some of my own problems, I'll check in on your town and see if I can figure out what's happening. For now, I suggest you find some place to lie low.
Well, there is the personal shelter next to the old diner. Papa always said to stay away from it, but I guess it's supposed to be safe. I'll head over there and wait inside. Hurry back.
Yeah, I'll be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's carcass. Anyway, time to go check in with Moira. Oh, that's just great. The store's closed for the night. She's probably back home, making a blanket out of tea leaves and hemp. Well, since I've got nothing better to do than to find a sheet of cardboard to sleep on for the night, I might as well head down and take a look at that nuclear bomb. Yeah, that's right. It's dark, I'm wounded. Now's the perfect time for me to get elbows deep in the guts of a bomb.
I'll be damned. You did it, didn't you? You disarmed that thing. Here's your reward. Hell, why don't you move in? Could use someone like you. Got an empty place here you can use. Here's the key indeed. It ain't much to look at, but talk with Moira. She's got random odds and ends you might be able to spruce the place up with.
Well, I'm not sure I want to be a permanent resident, but sleeping with a roof over my head and a mattress underneath me and a general base of operations while I'm doing all of this doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Wadsworth, your personal robotic butler. I am here to look after your needs and to keep you happy and entertained. What can I do for you?
Well, not cut a birthday cake, I'm certain of that. Can we make this look, how can I put this, less like a shithole?
Yes, I believe this place could do with a bit more in the way of decoration. Speak with Moira Brown at Craterside Supply here in Megaton. She has quite a selection of items to enhance your living space.
Yep, I can use a tea leaf and hemp blanket. So after getting the first good night's sleep since Dad left, I can finally go see Moira about the Super Duper Mart.
Ha! Look at this! New blood! Tell me, girl, you ever hear of the Enclave? The last remnant of the good old USA they are. Now, I don't know you from Adam, but I got you pegged for a patriot, and any patriot worth her salt is gonna toss her gun in for the Enclave. Any day now, they're gonna roll up here, and then this nightmare will be over for good. But listen to me, Ramble. I'm Nathan. What can I do for you?
I was wondering if you could teach me how to properly throw a shield, Captain America.
They're the American government, the Eagle, People Comma We the more perfect union.
Damn, next to this guy, Norman Rockwell looks like he paints pictures saying, "Fuck America."
They got flying robots all around, watching everything so they know what to do when they finally swoop in and clean this place up. You'll see. People think I'm just a crazy old man. Things will be different when the Enclave gets here.
Well, you are definitely right about one thing. If the Enclave were to swoop in here, I bet things would indeed be very different. It's just that recent experiences taught me that different doesn't necessarily mean better. I've faced a whole lot of different lately, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if I ended the day with radiation sickness.
So, how's the scabbing been? Got the food medicine from that Super Duper Mart?
Yeah, and it was about as easy as stuffing an entire cow into a garbage disposal.
Really? You did? You did! Well, all right. Tell me all about it. So you're saying that they acquired a well-protected stash? I wonder how many other places are hiding treasures behind monsters.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. If you have a monster, it discourages scavenging in that area. I mean, it's kind of like why Smaug was able to keep his hoard so easily. A great big dragon tends to discourage people from picking through things.
Well, keep what you got. Just traded for a big food shipment myself. Here, take a bit, my treat. Tastes kinda great after a while. Oh, and take this. It's an old food sanitizer. Just carry it with you, and it should automatically make most food and drink more, better.
Including the stuff that I've scavenged. Fallout 3 operates on... I don't even know there's a term for this. I'll call it taffy time because I don't know what else to refer to it as, but it's stretchy is my point. Some things definitely have to be 200 years between the time of the Great War and now. But other things, there's no possible way this could be more than just a few years into the future. Never mind a couple of centuries. Bullets, for example. It's very easy to make a bullet if you have the 4 ingredients. The shell, the slug, the primer, and the powder. And yes, it takes specialized chemistry knowledge to make 2 of those 4 things, but once you have the chemicals, you can make it in any corner of your workshop. On the other hand, a 200-year-old Salisbury steak, that's poison. I don't care how good your sanitizer is. Part of this is because so much of this draws upon the first 2 Fallout games, but those games were much closer in proximity between the time of the Great War and when they're set. By moving this so far into the future, while retaining so many of those other aspects of the first 2 games, Fallout 3 has this taffy time situation. That's not me saying that Fallout 3 is crap. On the contrary, I really like it. But the fact of the matter is, this is a turn-off-your-brain kind of game. Some of the stuff you expect because it's comedy, and some of the stuff you accept despite the fact that it's dumb.
Well, that's what I need your help for, isn't it? I know lots about it from books, but I never seem to get a live example. Not for long, anyway. So I need you to get a bit of radiation poisoning, so I can study its effects. Oh, not a deadly dose, of course. I can fix you up before that.
Are you shitting me?
Oh, don't worry so much about it. I'll be here waiting with a nice tall glass of rad-cleansing Brahmin milk for you when you get back. Well, mostly just a whole lot of Rad-X and Rad-Away. And maybe even a more reliable way to get rid of radiation. Assuming it works, of course. I realize a lot of things, but this isn't one of them because it's a real scientific necessity and not ridiculous at all. What I mean is, I need this research, and you're probably going to get irradiated out there anyway. So, why not come back here and help me too?
It's like there's a core of logic to what you're saying, but you've surrounded it with insanity.
Oh, you're a peach. Or at least some sort of hardy fruit that grows in the savagely irradiated mockery of agriculture we have nowadays. Now, 200 rads should be enough for basic sickness. But if you can get 600 or more rads, my test will be even more accurate. Just make sure you can get back here, and I'll see to it that you're well taken care of.
Yeah, I'll do my best to bring my sloughed-off stomach lining with me. This actually might be the easiest thing you could possibly do in the game. All you have to do is go out of this door, walk down the steps, walk over to where the bomb is, and proceed to drink the filthy water that the bomb has been sitting in for 200 years. Even by the standards of radioactive water, this stuff is nasty. This will very quickly poison you to the point that she'll be very happy.
Oh, feeling a bit under the weather? Or a bit over the Geiger counter? I can tell! You're positively glowing! Now, just hold on and try not to move. Tell me how it feels, and I'll get you fixed right up.
When dealing with Moira, often there's nothing better to say than what the game already has to say.
Oh, you poor dear. Putting on a brave face like that. Well, don't worry. It'll all be better. And it's for a good cause. Now, let me take a few notes, and I'll handle that nasty radiation with a bit of my own homemade Radcure concoction.
Why am I not surprised that my advanced case of radiation sickness is being treated by your folk remedy? Probably gonna have to bury a horseshoe under a full moon or something.
Okay, a little Brahmin milk, a couple magnets, and maybe a few happy thoughts. Well, you're alive! Oh, that's the good news. But there was a little side effect. A teeny tiny, mutation. But it seems to be benign, at least.
If I've got 3 tits like Total Recall, I am going to be furious.
Landmines are one of the few dangers out there that you can profit from. Disarm one before it blows, and you can sell it for plenty of caps. I've heard stories about a ghost town that's just full of mines. Traders just call the place Minefield.
Why is every time you tell me what to do next, I have the urge to ask if you're fucking with me?
Sounds like the place for some field work. Get in there, get back, and tell me all about it. And could you bring back a mine for my studies?
Oh, be careful what you wish for, Moira.
And if you bring me back something to study, maybe I can make some modifications for you. Nothing like tinkering with a live mine, right?
Oh my, I think I've just created the Wasteland's Harley Quinn.
Oh, don't worry. No one ever goes there because they say it's a ghost town. And since ghosts don't exist, you can just focus on the landmines. I hear there's a playground in the middle of town. Reach that point and come back, and I'm sure you'll have some stories to tell.
Moira, what color's the sky in your world? At this point, some of you who haven't played the game might be wondering, do you really have to do all of this before you can go on to the next step of finding your dad? Seems like kind of a waste. Well, the answer is no. No, you don't. But this is the wheelhouse of Bethesda. It's about the world, not about the story, not even about the characters. The world out there to explore. That is the appeal of the game. Skyrim, for instance. Think about how popular that game was. Now, think about what everyone talked about related to the game. How much of it was about the characters of it? How much of it was about the story? What is the most popular character in Skyrim if you didn't ask people what's their favorite character? If you asked who is the most talked about character, it's a guard who complains about getting shot in the knee. Now again, that's not to say people don't have their favorite characters in it. I don't think that guard is the favorite character of much anybody who actually plays the game. But the reason it caught on was because it was a memorable event as opposed to a memorable character. Because what people really loved about it was all of the aspects of the game. The world of it, in other words. People don't talk about Skyrim the way they talk about Mass Effect with Garrus or Tali or any of those characters. You see what I mean when I say the two companies zig and zag in their approach? Because the story is a relatively minor part of Bethesda's game's appeal. A great deal of the success comes from the random elements of it, not the main story or the main characters. Oh, shit. Excuse me a moment. Ah, damn stupid things. They're called mole rats, but I think they got a bit of jackrabbit in them. I should feel bad about what I'm doing here, except these things are vicious. I've got no choice in the matter. Plus, it's frankly embarrassing. These things are frickin' mole rats. Why are they being so damn difficult? There. Well, that was annoying. And I lost over half my life to all that. Crap. This is what I get for spending too much time in the labs and not enough in the gym. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yes. If I brought you on the journey of Fallout 3's story, this would be finished in about 2 or 3 parts. But it wouldn't really cover what Fallout 3 really is. You wouldn't get the Fallout 3 experience. Moira is what this game is about. By which I mean, it's about her and people like her in the game. It's about the people that you find and choose to engage with, and how you choose to engage with them. I'm not planning on taking you on every single last quest or go to every armpit corner of the capital wasteland. But the fact of the matter is, following the Fallout 3 story is like going to a fine restaurant because they have the most comfortable chairs. Seeing what you have of Moira, I'm sure you've got a sense by now of what her character is like. She's a bubbly, upbeat personality, even in the face of the worst. There's a reason for that. Something that you glean over the course of the game in various ways. It's the same reason that Nathan was there spewing on about the Enclave. Survival in the capital wastes is a full-time job. You're not getting by for long on the charity of others. It's a quid pro quo world. If you want to survive, you've got to earn it, trade for it, take it. That's the wasteland way. No one is handing you a damn thing. Not because they're heartless. Well, yeah, some are. The wasteland is full of assholes. But for others, the generally decent people, they're not heartless. But they do need what they have to survive. Even if they might have plenty for today, it could all be gone tomorrow. And then they're the ones left to face the mercilessness of the capital wasteland. And apparently to prove my point for me, raiders. Aw, man, look at those odds. If I could pull those odds, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in Atlantic City. Well, eventually I managed to take the guy down, only... Oh, the next few minutes of my life are going to be shit. Oh, oh. The army took most of it, but I feel like a TV dinner. Another raider is under the bridge ready to ambush me, but I'm so chock full of painkillers right now, he could shoot me and I wouldn't notice. Taking stim packs does not negatively impact your ability to aim. I just suck. See, that's why I need an automatic weapon. If I send enough bullets down that way, eventually they've got to hit something. The raiders seem to be operating out of the remnants of a bed and breakfast nearby. Now I could just bypass it and go on to my destination, but what did we learn from the Super Duper Mart? We learned that when raiders set themselves up somewhere, there's a good chance there's a cache of supplies. And I have killed most of them already trying to head up this road. Therefore, I think it's worth the risk.
Fucking hide from me! Die!
Hey, say hello to my little friend. Yeah, in a lot of games, when you level up in the middle of combat, it's helpful because you get like a reset of health and all that good stuff. Not in Fallout 3. You want to level up first, you've got to get out of range of people trying to kill you. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop safe to try to swim across. Maybe there's a way around all this. Yeah, maybe there's a way around the river. Well, there's got to be some options here. Maybe I can make a short way across and... What in the hell is that? Oh, am I being attacked by a baseball mascot? Well, fat lot of good that did. All right, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's not a costume. That's a... Oh, what the fuck is that? I mean, a giant ant, sure, I can... Well, obviously I can't. It's biologically impossible, but then again, the thing is there, so what can I say? But the point is that it's just an ant that's bigger. But there's nothing that's tiny. That's some seafood platter nightmare. This is not some random mutation. This is what happens when Long John Silver wakes up in hell. This is what greets him. Just trying to prove a point. All right, well, maybe it was a one-off mutation, and there's no... oh, shit on my tits. Well, that doesn't seem to be working. Maybe if I attacked him with some butter. Great, now it's pissed off and on fire. Okay, one last chance. Oh, great. There's another one. And I'm just about out of, well, everything. Okay, there's one last option. It's a crazy plan, but it might just work. I can't believe it. Well, how appropriate. I just defeated 100 pounds of seafood using a lunchbox. That's like a dream that you saved to tell your psychiatrist. Well, good news was, I didn't have to swim across that radiation-filled river. The bad news is, in order to heal up from the fight by not swimming across that radiation-filled river, I had to drink a whole lot of water from the river. So yeah, I'm carrying my radiation around inside me. Still, back on the road again, on our way to a town called Minefield. Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of day, isn't it? Wait, what's that up ahead there? Ah, you again? I bet you brought some more of your friends again. They're... Oh, what am I, a magnet for dicks today? Just eat the mole rat. I don't want it, you stupid dog. Now look what you made me do. Ah, fucking hate nature. I lived my entire life in a vault. I am not impressed by what was outside of it. You know, I was wondering why there weren't any horses to ride around the capital wasteland on. And now I know. Because they would probably try to eat people too. Still, Moira, couldn't you have found a closer minefield for me to dig through? I mean, there has to be something much closer than trekking all this way across this godforsaken wilderness filled with raiders and mole rats and dogs and giant clams and whatever this person is. Wait a minute. What in the name of Lou Ferrigno's asshole is that? Oh man, how many times can a person piss themselves in one day? Are you serious? Did you not see me kill a literal monster just now? And you are nothing but a buck-toothed piece of meat. And that guy is shooting at me? When you're a giant, why do you need a gun? How can you even use a gun with those giant hands of yours? Wasteland survival, my aching ass. Anyway, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted by half of the population of the wasteland trying to kill me in one afternoon? Oh yes, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The idea is that we are motivated by two things: deficiencies and growth. Deficiencies address what we're missing. That's the most basic physical needs, like food, water, shelter. And then after that, the need for things like safety and assurance that it's not all going to be ripped away at a moment's notice. Nathaniel talks about the Enclave like he does because he wants to believe that the disrupted world will be restored somehow, that this is just a temporary deviation, and that the horrors and evils out here in the wastes will be wiped away. For someone like him, the idea of the Enclave is what matters. It's effectively a religion for him, fulfilling the need to no longer fear that he is marking time until his meaningless death in a dying world. There's something missing, and he needs it filled, and he's filling it with hope that a magical solution will come from the voice on the radio. So, finally reached the town of Minefield, and Moira assured me the only thing to worry about was dealing with the mines, so that's good to know. I was afraid that there might be some, I don't know, problem. Oh, bloody hell. No one is ever happy to see me. Yeah, that was no mine. That was a sniper blowing up that car. Well, I'm going to find him and give him a piece of my mind. If he didn't want people coming around, he shouldn't have created such an interesting minefield. He's no one to blame but himself. Yeah, there he is. Must have a scoped rifle if he can get this close from that far away. I'm going to have to circle around and try to get up there. Even if I didn't want to kick his ass, which I very much do after this long trip. It would be crazy to try to leave town with him having such clear lines of sight to all the places he's no doubt booby-trapped. The only way I'm getting out of here alive is if I kill him first. Damn it all, why do I suck so much? That guy's right there. I could probably do some decent damage just throwing the gun at him. Look at that, lasers flying all around his body. I feel like a fucking stormtrooper. Well, this guy's gonna die of old age before I finish him off. Finally, first things first, I'm going to get me that gun. Having something that I can use with a scope will increase my chances of actually hitting something. After that, we can finally return to Craterside Supply to tell Moira that we visited Minefield and returned with a mine. Try not to kill yourself with it, kiddo.
How are those hot little potatoes? Because, you know, they're on the ground, like potatoes, and hot because they, explode.
I'm suddenly not so sure giving you explosives is a good idea.
My very own landmine! Oh, just what I've always wanted. Well, always since I sent you out on this anyway. Now, tell me all about it. What was it like going through there? What's it like disarming a landmine? Lots of places are nowadays. Good work staying alive in tough conditions. It'll be a great example for the book.
The only thing that was an example of is why it's good to stay home.
I know you may not want to see any more explosives for a while, but obviously you know your way around them. Have a couple rainy day toys of mine. And looking at this landmine, it gives me an idea. It's a terrible device that does terrible things, of course. But it's easy to make your own, too.
Well, one thing this trip did teach me is that a bottle cap mine can be the difference between life and death when you're being attacked by seafood. Anyway, that should be it for the first chapter, right?
Yup, you've done a great job. I just need to add in the section on how to cook rat, and this chapter's done. Here, for your services, I've saved up quite a few stim packs. Of course, you may need them. We still got 2 more chapters to go.
I think it's time for a break. The only thing that was missing was Dante explaining hell to me as I wandered around it. Right now I've got to make up for a lot of lost resources from that trip. Fortunately, I got the keys to all the houses off of that old fart, so I can start scavenging from all the houses in that town. I'm betting between the mines and his rifle, the houses haven't been picked over much at all. Should be some good stuff in there. Little lesson about scavenging for you. It's not just a matter of finding valuable stuff. That's a rookie mistake. Scavenging is exactly like going into orbit. It's all about weight. Got to get the most value per pound of whatever it is you're carrying. So if something is worth 40 caps, but it weighs 10 pounds, you're better off skipping it and picking up 10 boxes of laundry detergent worth 5 caps each, since they only weigh 1 pound. Pick a weight to value ratio and then stick with it. But yes, weight to value brings us back to the hierarchy of needs. Moira's different than Nathaniel. She's not deficient on a need. She has a desire to grow. After all, what is her life? Running a shop in a really crappy town? That's it. That's all she'll ever have. All she'll ever be. Moira won't think that way, though. She looks on the positive, sees that she has those deficiencies mostly tended to, and so is now choosing to look for something she can do now that she knows she's reasonably safe and reasonably assured that her needs will be met. The Wasteland Survival Guide is about helping people, sure, but the one that it helps more than anyone else is Moira Brown. It gives her something to live for. Survival? Oh, a junkyard. Might be some good salvage in there. Survival is vital, of course, but psychologically, we don't want to just meet the minimum requirements of staving off death another day. Eventually, we need to have more. We have a gap in our lives that needs filling. We look for something of the right fit to put in there. Maybe not the same size and shape, but something to fill the void or to fit into the now empty space that something else was occupying. If we lose something, well, then we might... Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, that's Carnage. I don't know how much he did before he succumbed, but clearly you finished it, so good on you for taking care of it. You certainly will be able to handle yourself in the wastes, even though he's gone. Yeah, the wastes are a bad place, but it's good to know that you can survive out there if you have to, even if you are all alone, even though you may not want to. But yeah, when something is missing, then we try to... Come on, boy. Let's go back to Megaton.
Straight to your heart. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of